Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on the Flash Season 6. So as I was saying, I think it was a few days back in another video of mine in regards to some other set photos from filming of Episode 1 of Season 6. We should have expected some bigger and better ones in like the next few days to come as they wrap up all of that episode's filming, Episode 1. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get more in the next 24 hours or so as well. They could possibly be of maybe some other new reveals that we have been waiting on. You might be getting, you might get my drift as to what I'm getting at there. But in regards to what we're going to be going over in this video, we have a few different things to cover, some of which you should be able to, already know of thanks to the title of the video. But at the end of last season, we knew that Caitlin Snow would be getting a new suit for her Killer Frost or just like Frost persona or side of her life, which was a gift of sorts from Cisco. And well, thanks to the filming of Episode 1, we finally get our first look at it, and well, it's quite impressive. Now, first off, I do have to say thanks to Canada Graphs for taking some of the photos that will be used in this video, as well as the information from his blog post. So the link to that will be in the description down below for that blog post, because I'm not going to use all of the information or all of the photos. So if you want to check out all of that, go to the link in the description. But of course, throughout this video, be sure to let me know all of your opinions in the comment section down below. What do you think of the certain looks that we get in regards to the photos, as well as the information that's provided? What do you think of the Killer Frost suit? What would you rate it out of 10, I guess? 10 being amazing, 1 being, well, not the biggest fan. So let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you want to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show that support, and I guess if you're hyped. So we will just go over some of the stuff from Canada Graph's blog, and I guess like how he describes certain scenes going down, and then also break them down ourselves and what they could mean in regards to what is actually going down in Season 6, Episode 1. So they started out with crew and stunt teams for The Flash doing work on a scene where a man is seemingly just blown away by something, and then shortly after that, he is pulled back through the air. Now, a bit later, they also did a stunt scene where they made a car move across the street upside down while people were running away. Now, in between these stunt scenes going down, they had a short scene take place where Ralph Dibny, or, Elongated Man, did a scene with a man dressed like the stunt guy from earlier, the one that was blown away and then pulled through the air, where he grabs him, spins him around before the guy gets a scared look on his face, and then proceeds to run away, while Ralph also proceeds to run away also, but in the opposite direction. But in regards to that scene with Elongated Man, or just Ralph, who was the person he was facing? Was it just some like random villain, or just like thing at the beginning of the episode? It is important to remember that Ralph was not at the barbecue scene that was filmed like a few days ago, maybe almost a week ago. So maybe this scene with him taking on this dude is at the same time and explains his absence from that event, which could mean this is maybe just some random robbery or random villain action scene to kick off the episode or the season. But if this scene is a bit more into the episode, let's say like 5 or 10 minutes into the episode, there is a possibility that this guy could maybe be a villain that we know 100% will be in Episode 1, that of course being Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork. Now, we don't get a front-on look at this guy, so it is hard to be sure who the actor is and all of that, and maybe get a confirmation whether this is actually maybe Bloodwork. But the fact that the guy that Ralph faces is dressed exactly like the stunt actor from before, who was thrown away and then pulled back through the air, would have you believe that they are someone who can take that sort of attack. They're not just some normal person. Now, it is probably the Elongated Man's abilities that are doing that to him, most likely. It might not be, but I guess that's probably the most likely thing, and even actually probably a more even likely option would be, or could be, that it is like Killer Frost that's blasting him away with her ice abilities, and then it's Elongated Man pulling him back, something along those lines. Usually with these Episode 1 villains, they do introduce them fairly early, as they also have to deal with lots of other things in Episode 1, just general story and setup for other storylines throughout the season, and just, I guess, fallout from the end of last season. So it wouldn't surprise me if it actually is Bloodwork that Ralph is dealing with in this scene, but I guess that's for us to wait, see, and find out, I guess. But up next, we have Jesse L. Martin rocking up as our favourite smooth grandpa, that of course being Joe West, rocking his new and fresh Captain Joe West look with like a salt and pepper beard and all of that. Now, shortly after the Ralph scene, there were shots, or a shot of like hundreds of extras on set just running away in a panic, which you might be able to see here. And this seems to be the first thing that Joe does in this scene, like looking upon the panic from all these people. Like, it seems he shows up in his car, all these people are freaking out, and that's the introduction to Joe in this sort of scene. But shortly after all of that, he did do a scene with Caitlin, or well, should I say Killer Frost. And this is where we can have a look at Caitlin's new Killer Frost look, which, let's be honest, it's pretty great. It is arguably one of the better current suits that we have in not only just the Flash, but arguably the entire Arrowverse. Now, there might be a slight change to it going forward later in the season, especially when it starts to get colder in Vancouver where they film, and that is just due to the fact that the tops of the arms are exposed on this suit, and that would suck to wear when it gets, starts to get cold, so there might be a bit of a change there. But I guess that is something for them to worry about then, not now. But this suit is pretty comic accurate, even with like the symbol and all that. We did hear that this suit was going to be good, and I guess we weren't let down. And just to add quickly, it will be interesting to see whether they completely change the character to just being called, Frost. Obviously, at points last year or last season, we heard the name Frost be used a decent amount from characters for that side of Caitlin, but the character is still officially called Killer Frost on like cast sheets and all of that. I guess it might just be one of those things where the show calls a character one thing, in this case Killer Frost, and the viewers call them another, in this case Frost. Anyway. Now, in regards to this scene where Joe interacts with Killer Frost, it did sort of give off that Killer Frost was maybe trying to attack Joe, but that could have just been like weird angles and, not getting the whole context of the scene. And of course, there could also be like CGI elements that obviously can't be seen. So Killer Frost might be aiming some sort of blast in the general direction of Joe, but she's actually aiming at something else, maybe something that's actually trying to attack or is going for Joe. Or it could simply just be something behind Joe that Killer Frost is going for. But with Joe taking on this new role of, captain, it will be interesting to see whether we see another character come in and take over that detective type of role at certain crime scenes and all of that, or because simply of Joe's affiliation with Team Flash, that he just makes himself present and available at certain events like the scene in question where he does interact with Killer Frost. It will be interesting to see, I guess, because you got to remember Captain Singh, how often did we see him at certain things like that. But then I guess he wasn't a straight up affiliated with Team Flash, so Joe's got a bit of leeway there, I guess. And the final scene that was shot from this set of, scenes for episode 1 of season 6 was a, scene between Caitlin, obviously once again as Killer Frost, and Ralph Dibny once again as Elongated Man. Now, they were shooting a scene together where the pair seemed to be facing some daunting task of sorts, but in true Team Flash style and fashion, they somehow are able to overcome it. I wouldn't say easily, but they overcome it, which leads to a somewhat awkward moment, I guess you could call it, where we have Elongated Man actually go and hug Killer Frost for a moment before, pausing or just stopping and awkwardly trying to apologize or something along those lines. Then there is another pause where the action is then reciprocated or given back, with Killer Frost actually giving Elongated Man a hug back. Now, there were some teasers to these two having a thing last season, I guess, Caitlin and Ralph, not Killer Frost and Ralph, but Caitlin and Ralph, which I highly doubt that we will see go down this season, because I don't think many people want it. I think this is just more of a play to maybe tap into what's the word? Maybe the melting of Killer Frost's icy heart, which we did see at points last season, mainly between just Caitlin and Killer Frost, where we saw, Killer Frost become a less intimidating and just overall mean character. That side of Caitlin did seem to care at points, and then that grew as the season went on. I don't think we will ever get to the point where both sides are the same in regards to how they treat everyone, but any sign of improvement is, still improvement. Now, there were people saying that the Flash was actually on set and just there were photos taken. I can tell you right now, the Flash wasn't on set for this. I really don't think that was the case here. But, and this is a big but, I cannot lie, it could be the case in the next few days. Seeing we are now heading into, by the time this video comes out, I think it's a week exactly since before Comic-Con starts. And obviously the Flash doesn't have its panel for a couple of days into Comic-Con, but they got to fly down and everything like that. So they're running out of time in regards to getting footage to show at Comic-Con. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do get at least 1 or 2 public Flash scenes filmed with Barry in his new Flash suit. Obviously, we know it's not going to be that big of a change. The main thing we just want to see is this chin strap that we know is going to be on the suit. But I would hope to have maybe an outdoor Flash action scene, filmed I'd hope maybe the next couple of days, just so we know that there's one in episode 1. I'm sure there's going to be a scene for that in episode 1, just that maybe they filmed it in a more private area where people couldn't get shots of it. But the fact that they did film a scene in public where it was easily obtainable to get a new shot of this Killer Frost suit, I don't think they're too worried about doing a Flash one now, because this is the more secret one, this new Killer Frost suit, while the Flash one, it's basically going to be the same, just with a bit of a chin strap. And also some added news, I don't know exactly who this is going to be. This is basically just, I heard it through the grapevine, so just keep your eyes and ears out for it in the next couple of days. But I've heard there's going to be casting news in the next couple of days. It might be on the weekend, but I've heard it could be on Friday or maybe Thursday. I'm guessing that there's going to be public filming for this character in question, either on that day or in just the next couple of days, maybe over the weekend. I don't know specifically what the character is for or what type of character it is. I just know there's going to be an announcement for a casting for a character on the Flash in the next, I'd say around the weekend or just before the weekend, but it could be in the next week. I don't know necessarily when they're going to be filming this scene or the first scenes in public with this character, but keep your eyes and ears out for that casting announcement. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. As I said, go to Canada Graph's blog, check out all the other photos and information and all of that. Let me know all of your various opinions in the comment section down below in regards to what we went over in this video. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.